MLB The Show Weekend Classic. Tried to play a game yesterday, but the servers were down when we tried. I think they came on a little bit later in the evening. By that point, I was kind of tired. And when I'm tired, I don't play this game well at all. In fact, I did play. I played like Battle Royale. I did some grinding to try to get some new players, including Max Scherzer, who we might start in our first game in the Weekend Classic here. Though that's risky because I haven't pitched with him. I've pitched with him in previous seasons, but not a lot. He was never a main pitcher for me. But the number of pitchers out there right now that I really like are limited. And I do remember him having a unique arm angle that could make him perhaps a little tougher if you're not used to seeing him. Doing some batting practice right now against Randy Johnson. I have the fastball turned up to as fast as it can go to the second highest level. He's blowing them by me. Just before I started streaming, I started tinkering with my batting approach for right-handed hitters. And this is how I always get into a slump. I've been hitting better of late, though last night I did not hit well. And I don't know if after doing all the missions that are on really easy levels and then kind of getting frustrated at BR. I was playing top players again at BR, I think because it's a special weekend, the Weekend Classic, and also double XP, which are points that you raise while you play the game, points that you accumulate while you play the game. And then that allows you to get particular rewards, oftentimes players you may want. And so that usually brings back the really good players because they have something to play for. And so the question is, can I sustain the level of hitting that I've been demonstrating in the past few videos? And one way I'll make sure I can't is when I start tinkering, because the truth is when I have the PCI in the bottom right corner there, I have more fine control of it. I think I'm quicker with it as well. And I've tried to do I usually put it here for left-handed hitters, here for right-handed hitters. But through batting practice, I have seen that I am a better hitter from the left side where I put the PCI here. And I don't know if that's because that's where I put the PCI. But see, a good PCI placement there, I was just late. Again, this ball's coming in hot. And now I'm talking. Makes it a little bit harder. And I feel like I could be a better hitter this way because I have a better control of how the PCI moves, both in how quickly I can move it, but also with fine movements than I can here. But I'm so used to it here. And being used to it here is important because it allows me to relax, not think about it, and I think really see the ball. Whenever I try something new with my batting approach, I end up swinging at all kinds of bad pitches. I lose my discipline, and I think that's because I'm thinking too much about the technique. Getting back to Miyamoto Musashi, right, is that you have to practice the technique so much to where it becomes inherent, to where it basically becomes instinctual, so that when you're in the moment of actual competition, you can just react because you don't have the time to think about it. And that's definitely true when the ball's coming in this fast. I bet you I could do better with Ted Williams. Watch. Let's go put in Ted Williams. Let's do a few warm-up swings with Ted. Lefty on lefty. I know Randy Johnson's coming. He's now in the game. Just got to get my timing down. And then the reason I like to face such a fast fastball is so that when I get into the game, whatever fastball I am seeing, won't seem so fast. It'll seem manageable. However, I do wonder if all these swings and misses will also hurt my confidence. Let me stop talking for a second. Let's see if we just hit a few balls here. Randy's particularly tough to hit. I've been able to hit seemingly the same speed fastball with other pitchers in batting practice. But I'm definitely struggling here. I have to be empty and just respond. I even pulled that one. And this is on the GOAT level, so this is the hardest level to do it on. That I got that one. The principles of Miyamoto Musashi that I'm trying to remember here is that the state of mind should remain normal at all times, that the focus of the eyes should be both big and small to see the whole field, to be aware. What he says, to be aware of always be aware of where the opponent's sword is while never directly looking at it. In other words, learn how to use your peripheral vision. I feel that's important when it comes to hitting. And not the whole screen, but maybe be able to see everything around here. Because you got to see how the ball moves in relations to its surroundings around here to give you an indicator, I think, of what's going on. And the best way I hit is not when I focus on a little dot, which is the ball, but where that little dot, the ball, is coming from, and sort of maybe a half an inch circumference around it. And then the other thing is just to swing, as he says, swing the sword calmly so that it's easy to do. And the less I think about it, the easier it is to do. And it's a challenge not to think about it when you're doing a live video stream and talking about it. But that's our challenge. All right. Let's go play a game. It's going to be our first weekend classic game. It's also important in recognizing that it's a weekend classic game, a game that has meaning, a game that there are rewards, a game that you're being bunched with a bunch of people in your own, sort of near your own ranking. Because there are more rewards and because it's new, it's going to be more telling, more meaningful to players. So I think we're going to get harder matchups, but it's also makes it entirely possible to get a little too anxious about the game, to get nervous about the game, to not be in your relaxed state, to not be empty, as Miyamoto Musashi would say. So, but that's not just true for me. It's also true for my opponent. So let's go. Let's win one game. Let's see how we can do this. So you can see there, if we win our first game, we'll get a pack and 4,000 stubs, which is nice. Win a second game without losing. I don't think we can lose. We get 3,000. If we can get 3 wins, we get a chase pack, which is kind of nice. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to 6. But let's go. Oh, are these? Let me see something. Are these? What's this other box? Is this the group I'm matched with? I don't understand. There I am. Interesting. All right. Let's just play, shall we? Let's play 2. You know, we might play 2 today. I haven't decided yet. If I play too much, that will also put me into a slump. And once I get into a slump, it can take a long time to get out. It really can. All right, so we're in the silver 1 category. Who are we going to go with? We're going to go with Scherzer or are we going to go with Walker Buehler? Doesn't really matter, right? We're going to go with Max Scherzer. Let's go. Where are we playing today? Let's see. Where are we playing today? Who are we going up against? McClanahan. You know, I haven't pitched with Scherzer before, so this could be a little dicey, especially in the first weekend classic. Here we go. Shibe Park. Dinger Danger. What's his record? Oh, he's not giving me a record this time. Okay. Oh, man, but this guy can hit. This is the thing. 372? Oh, concerns me. So Scherzer has no velocity. I thought he might have a little better fastball. You know, he has one brown eye and one blue eye, but here in the game, he has two blue eyes. Or does he have two blue eyes? We could check at some point. All right. Let's go. Not a good start. You know, I don't like his pitch selection, man. I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work to get Scherzer last night. Let's pause here a long time to make him think that I might be pitching out. Let's turn this up. I can hear you. It's time we're pitching out. What? I didn't get a throw. I didn't get the throw meter. I think we're going to have our first loss. Why am I not getting the throw meter? Thank you for that, brother. Did he go? I mean, look at this guy's average, 571. All right. Dodged a big bullet there. Dodged a big bullet there. All right. Let's find his pitch release point. What pitches does he throw? All right, look for that circle change in the dirt a lot. Ooh, stay fair. That's great.
Batting second, the second baseman. Batting third, the catcher.
All right. Calm the mind. Be empty. Look for a strike. Perfect swing.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter.
Into and out. But we'll take the run. Oh, come on. We'll take the run, though. Can't say I'm feeling deeply comfortable at the plate.
Leading off for St. Louis, the right fielder, Jason Hayward.
Okay. I should see the break on his pitches here. Meant that to get a little more inside.
The first baseman, number 25, Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire hitting 556. I mean, this guy's just taking advantage of the system. This guy's like a really good player who should be ranked higher. This is what I suspect.
Batting seventh, the second baseman, Travis Bazana.
Oh, come on. You're going to bail him out? See if we can get a strike him out, throw him out here. I tricked him into doing that. He quit. I won. I won my first game. He got angry and quit. He thought I was throwing. All right. Can can we walk through what just happened there? Yeah, he was rated higher than I am. Why were we in the same? Wow, why'd he quit? Why were we rated in the same? I thought in the what am I trying to say? I thought in the ranking for weekend classic that I would have been facing 500 players, and he's 665. Now maybe he's was in the 500s when the classic began, and he won a few games. And if so, I'm really shocked he quit like that. So let me just recount what happened there because that was beautiful. So we know the guy likes to run, okay, because he showed that in the first inning. He's aggressive on the base paths. Mark McGwire got on, who cannot run. Mark McGwire is this big, bulky hulk of a man, right? So he can't run, but this guy likes to run. And I brought it, and we together, it's a dance, right? Brought it to a 3-2 count, which is a great hit and run count because well, I can't throw a ball. I'm more than likely going to throw a strike in that situation, as I did, right? I threw over to first twice to goad him into running because now I can't throw over at first anymore. So now he's going to be able to get a big jump, but he's not fast enough to steal the base. But he probably felt comfortable enough to hit and run. And then I decided, after having thrown him a number of inside cutters and also realizing he hasn't swung at just anything, I felt like he had a good eye, that what I'll do instead is I'll throw an inside fastball, and Matt Scherzer's fastball isn't fast enough. It isn't fast, right? But it's not fast enough to blow up by him. But I threw the inside fastball because then I thought, well, I'll put in his mind, have in his mind the potential of a cutter again. And if it's a cutter, he wants to lay off it because it'll be a ball and he'll get the walk. And that might just be enough to have him late. And he was so late, and he probably thought it was a cutter. He didn't swing. So he probably actually thought it was a cutter that was going to go for a ball. Instead, it was for a fastball. So he strikes out, and then we throw out Mark McGwire at second. And it was just this really beautiful strike him out, throw him out, double play. And we goaded him into doing that. That's why I think he quit, because I think he's probably better than me. Did you see his batting averages? Woo! The Tao of baseball. The Tao of baseball. He got the loss, and that's too bad. It's too bad he got the loss. He didn't have to have the loss. I think he probably would have won that game. I was not impressed by Matt Scherzer. I did a lot of work grinding to get him. So now the question is, since that was such a short game, do we play one more? Or do we just enjoy the moment? I say we enjoy the moment. I have a hangout later today in San Francisco. So I'm gonna go get ready for that. I'll be early. I don't have to leave till like 2. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. But maybe after I shower and do everything I need to do to get ready to go out, maybe I'll come back and play a game before we leave. We will play 2, but not right. Let's not do back to back. That's also part of my problem when I get into slumps is when you're going well, you want to keep playing because that feels pretty good, right? Feels good. Um, but you can get tired because you have to be focused when you're hitting. You have to be present and you have to remain empty, which sounds easy to do and effortless, but it's not because your brain is always firing. Thoughts are always coming into it. And it's hard to remain empty. And you have to train your mind to be empty, but to stay at a state, to remain at that state for so long. It's a very difficult thing to do. I meditate. Maybe I'll talk more about my meditation practice in all of this. Might be a nice thing to add to the Tao of baseball. I meditate, and what I try to do is just quiet the mind. I set a timer for 20 minutes. Oftentimes I'll go to, I live nearby a lot of different bodies of water. There's a lake, there's a channel, there's an estuary. It's all connected to the bay, in the San Francisco Bay Area. I usually go and I also go to a garden. I just sit for 20 minutes and I try to be empty. I try to just be aware of the moment and try to let my mind relax. But the mind doesn't relax. It's almost like asking the heart to relax. Now, it can be speeding up and it could be beating at a lower pace, but you certainly don't want your heart to stop. Well, it's really impossible to stop your mind. I don't know, maybe if it's impossible, some really trained meditators, some trained monks. Think of the Vietnamese Buddhist who in the Vietnam War, the Buddhist monk who in the Vietnam War, and protesting the policies of the Southern Vietnam regime that was backed by the United States. What's his name, like Quang Duc? I think his name was Quang Duc. It's almost that, if not exactly. Poured gasoline all over himself, meditated, and then set himself on fire and didn't move one bit. So that might be a man who had conquered his mind to be able to do that. And I think of him when I think of all the things that just frustrate me. And I think, can I also be still as though I was on fire? How to be still even when you're on fire? Not trying to lionize it and say that's what people should try to do or whatever. He did it. I don't think it was a suicide. I think it was an act of enlightenment for him. At least that's what Thich Nhat Hanh argued in a letter to Martin Luther King Jr. That's how Thich Nhat Hanh and Martin Luther King Jr. became friends. Martin Luther King Jr., after he won the Nobel Peace Prize, nominated Thich Nhat Hanh for the Nobel Peace Prize. Interesting story. And they met because Thich Nhat Hanh wrote to Martin Luther King, don't see what Quang Duc did as suicide. See it as a step in his practice towards trying to reach nirvana. But that said, I'm not looking to do that, but maybe metaphorically. When something is bothering me, when something metaphorically is on fire, my neighbors are loud, whatever it may be, how can I remain unmoved? And so I think about Quang Duc a lot, actually. But in meditation, in my experience, and that's, again, I bring him up because he might be somebody who has conquered the mind. But I have not conquered the mind, and I don't think I will ever conquer the mind. And when I do try to meditate and just have my mind be still, I can achieve it for only a few seconds at a time. And then another thought comes in, and I just sort of examine the thought, right? You can't force yourself not to think. Meditating is kind of like, I like to compare it to when you have a bowl of soup that you've filled up to the rim, like it's one more drop and it's going to spill over. And then you have to walk that bowl of soup from the kitchen to the table. You have to do it very carefully with both hands, holding it still. That's what meditation's like. It's very difficult. And I don't even know if it's worth it. But I do it because it does make me aware of my thoughts and how my thoughts affect me. But can't control them. So yeah, this game's a very much a mind game. I know when I'm not feeling well at it, when I'm struggling, then I'll keep playing it more and more and more, and I'll just struggle more. And so I'm trying not to play a lot of games, at least a lot of ranked games that take an hour. I mean, I've played a lot over the last couple of years, and today I'm just trying to do one. But because we have the weekend classic, in which you need to be able to play 6 games to get the ultimate reward, and because this game today was so short, because my guy here, Danger, he got frustrated. He got frustrated. I got, what's the rule by Miyamoto Musashi? The state of mind should remain normal at all times. Do not allow others into your mind. And then he also has a section about being flustered. Do not become flustered. The goal is to fluster your opponent. We did that with that. I'm sorry. I am tooting my own horn. If you were to talk to my opponent, he may say, no, that's not what happened. And that's fair. I can only perceive things here. And we're rated 652, so we're starting to get up there where we closer should be. We can play at Hall of Fame level. But man, once we get to Hall of Fame level, though, I might start struggling again hitting. Which will suck. But anyways, I feel like I got into this good man's or woman's. I appreciate that they're a Cardinal fan. I think this was a traditional baseball person. I like that. I feel like I got into his mind, though, or her mind, whoever, with that strike him out, throw him out, double play. And they went into, and they got frustrated and they quit. They quit. And I think he was going to win, or she was. I think this person was going to win. It was great. Thank you, Miyamoto Musashi. All right, we'll come back probably in a couple of hours, do another one.